Why do people do drugs? Are drugs right or wrong? I couldn't care less. I just want to know why people do drugs. They do drugs because they're not okay. Why do people take the edge off when they come home and have a drink? There's no edge. The world's round. The edge is inside. You do that. I don't care if it's a social drink. I don't care what it is. And I don't care about it. It's fine. Do it. Do it. I don't care. It's not my place to talk to you about what you're doing or not doing, what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing. I'm not interested in any way, shape, or form. I'm interested in why you're doing it. Are you willing to look and see why you do what you do? And what you're going to see is you're doing it because you're not okay. Why do you have wants? Are wants natural? Physiological, food, clothing, shelter? Sure, right? How about psychological needs? No. They're not natural. You shouldn't have any. You're capable of living in a state with no psychological needs. I don't care what they tell you. You're whole and complete within yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need anything to offset what's wrong with you. You don't need to get anything to be okay. You need to avoid anything so you're not okay. It's not true. Inside, you're whole and complete within yourself. Something is wrong. Something went wrong. It's sort of like health happens to be a natural state. Most people are healthy. Take every minute of all the 8.5 billion people's lives that are alive right now, and I tell you, I guarantee you, that's 99% of those minutes people are healthy. Yes, there are times people are not healthy. Some people, not everybody. Do you understand that? Health is a natural state. Why? Your body was made that way. It's phenomenal, isn't it? It has an immune system. It adjusts everything. It is working toward health at all times. Of course, you do everything to screw it up, but we won't discuss that, right? If you drink Coke and eat Peeps, it's not doing well. But it still manages. You understand that? It's a phenomenal instrument, and its natural state is health. You understand that? I know you may be sick. I know you know people are sick. But every minute, if you take every minute everyone ever lived, the body does pretty darn good, doesn't it? Health is your natural state. That's a physical body. It's got limitations, physiological limitations, right? Your psyche has no limitations. There is no physicality to your psyche. It is whatever you make it to be. It's just open air. You are capable of being completely okay all the time, no matter what happens. I don't care what anybody tells you. You are completely capable of being whole and complete, self-effulgent. That's what I like. Self-effulgent. You're giving off your own bliss. What did Christ say? Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaves the mouth of God. That's what he's talking about. You don't have to live off of what's coming into you to be okay and to avoid not being okay. There is something flowing inside of you, just like the body works toward health. Your mind, your heart, they are always working toward health. Always working toward health. If your body starts to get a mild fever, that's a good thing. It's killing off bacteria and foreign matter, isn't it? Okay? The body does things to make itself healthy. Guess what? So does your heart. What do you mean? If you put something in your heart that is not healthy, it tries to throw it out. Exactly like the body is trying to expunge and purge itself of impurities, your heart's natural state is pure love, constant flow of Shakti, constant flow of spirit, constant flow of love all the time, no matter what happens. But you put stuff down there. Somebody said something you don't like. What'd you do? You pushed it down. You pushed it away. Freud called it suppression, repression, resistance, call it whatever you want. You push that stuff away, and you pushed it into your heart's flow. That's where it goes. It goes into your energy flow. What does it do? It tries to push it back up, doesn't it? In your dreams, you see something, it reminds you of it, you have a thought, it's trying to that which you think is terrible the heart is doing is exactly what the heart should be doing. It should be throwing it up, throwing it up, throwing it up, so you let it go. But you don't. You freak out over it, you can't handle it. You couldn't handle it when it happened, you can't handle it when it comes back up, can you? That's like sitting there saying, if the body starts to get a mild fever, oh my God, get in ice water. That'll do a lot of good for you, right? In other words, you know best. You know the heart shouldn't feel this. The heart should feel that. The heart should feel that. Why? Because you put that down there, it's messing up the energy flow, and the heart is trying to push it out. That's why it keeps coming back. But you think it keeps coming back because it's evil, it's wrong, and somebody did something terrible. No. You couldn't handle what somebody did. We can deal with that after. Once you can handle it, we'll deal with it. But you can't handle it, can you? What do you do with things you can't handle? You shove them down into your own energy flow, into the very flow that I'm telling you The flow that Christ talked about when he said, but by every word that leaves the mouth of God. That's that flow. The rush of holy waters, the Bible calls it. Basically, you have this energy flow inside, just like you have health flow in your body. It is trying to purify your mind. It's trying to purify your heart. We talked about heart. What about mind? Same. Somebody says something to you or something happens that you can't handle. What do? You try to push it away. My favorite non-spiritual words in the entire universe are, I can't handle this. What exactly happens when you can't handle something? Well, I can't handle it. But it happened. But I can't handle that it happened. That's a very interesting discussion. Can you stop it from having happened? No one has ever stopped something that already happened from having happened. All right, so we're getting logical here. We're going to be down to where the rubber hits the road. So if something happens, it happened. If you can't handle it, I don't understand. What do you do about it? You, in essence, the only thing you can do is try to not experience it. It happened, but I don't have to experience it. I can deny it. I can suppress it. I can ignore it. I don't want to experience it. How about you? I don't want to experience it. I can't handle it. That's what I can't handle it means. It means the energy came in of the event. It did. It happened. It came in. I'm sorry. It came in. But I'm the consciousness in here. I'm not letting it back to me. I mean, if I love you and you come and hug me and kiss me, I'll let that in. I'll let that all the way in, won't I? I'm completely open to you. I feel so open, like just to see you. I just feel it touches the depth of my being. There you go. You know what the opposite of I can't handle this is? It touched me to the depth of my being. Ever having something touch you to the depth of your being? You let it in. You let it come all the way back into your consciousness. It's beautiful, isn't it? Sunset, a hug, anything, all right, can come in and you can let it in. It's called being open. You can let it in and it just merges with you, raises you. I've heard people sit there and say, oh, the sunset, I don't know, I turned the corner and it was all kinds of pastel colors. It was so beautiful. I swear I felt like I was in the presence of God. You were. You were in the presence of God because that's what's in there. But you won't let things in. You will not let things flow into the ocean of consciousness. You keep them separate. So that what you do in there, when you can't handle something, is you use your will, your soul, your consciousness has power, will. Focused, I've taught you this. What is will? Do you even know what will is? Will is focused consciousness. When awareness, consciousness focuses, it creates a power, just like a magnifying glass in front of the sun. The sun's everywhere, but then it focuses power. When consciousness concentrates, focus on something, power comes with it. It has force. In the ancient yogic scriptures, they talk about God as Chit Shakti. Chit Shakti. Conscious energy. That's the nature of the divine force. Conscious energy. Energy created everything, that aspect of God. Consciousness is aware of everything. So God's dancing with God. That's Chit Shakti. Man was created in the image of God. Well, it's just every word is the truth, but nobody understands it. What does that mean? Man was created in the image of God. It means you are consciousness. You are Chit Shakti. That's who you are back here. You're a witness, what you call the witness. That consciousness is Chit Shakti. Conscious energy. Not just consciousness. It's conscious energy. They're the same thing. Consciousness and energy are the same thing. Einstein found out that matter and energy were the same thing. He got pretty far down there. E equals mc squared, right? Matter is energy and energy is matter, and they're different, just a temporary state. Water is ice is water, steam is ice, steam is water, and the difference is just a temporary state. Okay? That's what Einstein meant when he says matter is energy, energy is matter, and the difference is a temporary state. So energy, pure energy, is able to manifest as matter, but it's not matter, it's energy. But when we'll get into quantum physics, but that's what's happening. Out of the light field pop particles, which then put themselves together, quarks, leptons, bosons, into electron, neutron, protons, atoms, and then you get made. But it's all made of light, just like all the spiritual beings taught from the beginning of time. It's all made of light. What has science found out? It's all made of light. That's what quantum physics is studying. How can light turn into this? Literally. A field of energy called a quantum field, just an energy field, is this. Isn't that neat? Have you ever heard spiritual teaching that say it's all made of light? It is. That's so far out. So basically, you're down here now, and you are Chit Shakti. You are God. You are the manifestation of the divine force, the divine Chit Shakti that created the whole universe and is all awareness that exists, and is focusing on you. It's focusing on your mind, your heart, your body, and what's coming through your senses. What is focusing on that? God. Okay? Every single one of you, it's just a ray of light from the sun focusing on those objects. When you focus your consciousness, it creates a power. I started to say to you, just like in, 1800s, they thought electricity and magnetism were separate things. They were doing all kinds of science studies with electricity and doing science studies with magnetism. But in any event, they found out, no, they're the same force. They're the same exact force. If you come into magnetism at this angle, it acts like electricity. If you come in from this angle, it acts like magnetism. They're the same thing. It's just the force being put together different ways. Chit Shakti, energy and consciousness are the same thing. So Einstein found it now far enough to where energy is matter, matter is energy, but I don't know that they'll ever get that consciousness is the energy, that the quantum field that they're studying that manifests this whole of creation is really consciousness. It's the energy aspect of consciousness. It's God. Einstein said it once. Einstein was very spiritual, not religious, spiritual. He said, the more I look down there, the more it looks like somebody's looking back at me. He said that. So basically, you are Chit Shakti. That's what you call the witness. When you're watching your thoughts, when you're watching your feelings, when you're watching that your eyes see, you're in there, okay? That is a very high being. That's a very high state. When you focus that energy, when you focus that consciousness on something that came in, it happened in the world, it came in, it's passing back to your consciousness. Why? Because that's what it means to experience something. It comes back and you consciously experience it. You don't worry about the things you don't experience, do you? That you're not conscious of. But if it happened in front of you, eyes, ear, nose, whatever, all your senses, it comes in and it's coming back to your consciousness. That's what it's supposed to do. That's why you took birth, to experience the experience that you're experiencing. That's why you took birth. There's no reason to take birth if you're not going to have experiences, is there? Well, why do I have experiences? Because experience is a very great teacher, isn't it? You don't learn without experience, do you? Experience teaches you. The more you experience something, the more you understand it, the more you're okay with it, and so on. So you're here on this plane. Earth is a place where souls are sent to evolve. You're evolving through the experiences you're having. Every one of them. Well, what if I didn't like it? Well, evolve. What if I did like it and it didn't evolve? And it's all about can this manifestation of the divine, called creation, come into you and pass back to God. I once said to you, and I don't know if anybody can hear it, you are literally an emissary, an ambassador of God, sent down to experience the part of life that you're experiencing. Somebody else is experiencing a different part. Everybody's experiencing something different, aren't they? No one has ever experienced what you've experienced. Do you know that? No one that ever lived has had the experiences you've had. You're here having an experience, but you're having a different one. You're at a different angle. You're looking, you have a different mindset when you're listening. And then you're going to walk out and go your way. And no one ever follows your path. No one ever has. No one ever will. Because it will never happen again. So you are sent down here. You're like sent down here with a mission. Okay, I've created the heavens and earth. You'll be my consciousness experiencing the part of the creation that no one has ever experienced and no one ever will. And I want to experience, that's God talking, I want to experience it. Just let me experience it. Get out of the way. Let me experience it. I want to experience it. Don't miss it. That's why I sent you down there, to have experiences. Any experiences, all experiences. Good, bad, right, wrong, up, down, fair, unfair, just, unjust, everything. It all exists, doesn't it? From yin to yang, it all exists. Are you willing to be my ambassador, my emissary, that moment was meant for you? How do you know it was meant for you? Because you're the only one that experienced it. No one ever will. No one ever did. That's pretty meant for you stuff, isn't it? All right, but you can't handle it. So what happens when you can't handle it? When you can handle it, you feel God. You feel open. You feel love. You feel joy. You feel peace. You feel divine energy. You can literally, can bliss you out. Can you hear a note on an instrument that sends you into ecstasy? Can you see a painting that knocks you back to you can't even talk for an hour? Things can touch you. They're all supposed to do that.